Now, pay attention. What is this? It's a dance routine, isn't it? So I'll tell you why. Because it's fucking showtime!
Ready or not, here I come. I'm gonna get you. Ready or not, here I come.
Hello, and welcome to the latest episode of the Culture Vultures. With me, as always, and my close chum, Kev Rooney.
How we diddling?
Doing fine this week. Doing fine, matey boy. Not been up to much, obviously, because we're still in the old lockdown Rooney. So I have just been watching films and stuff, as we do. But yeah, I watched a couple of films. I watched Saturday Night Fever the other day.
Oh, classic.
It is a classic. But again, I haven't seen that in some time. He's a fucking prick, mate. They all are. It's like, I think when you're young, especially at 19, I guess that's what blokes aspired to be that, but they're just absolute arseholes. I mean, at the end of it is mate commits suicide. His other two mates go twos up on that girl who doesn't really want him to. And, then he goes to, I don't know. Yeah, very, very disappointed.
So anyone listening out there, we do apologise. It wasn't even a spoiler alert there. So Dean just brought it in and then just skip straight to the end. Skip to the end.
Yeah. Well, I think the film came out in 1978?
Or something like that, yeah. I haven't seen it in donkey's years, so I'm sure that I'd end up watching it through a different lens this time. So I probably would be sort of the same as you. What is this geezer with greased up nipples giving it all what for on a lit up dance floor in a big old booth there and some flares?
Yeah. Still, I'll give Staying Alive a try.
Now, what shall we talk about?
As all these years have gone by, you're still the only other person I know who's watched both these sitcoms and then loves it as much as me. So we're going to bulldoze straight into the first one. The first one being BBC's Operation Good Guys.
Nobody's going to sleep tonight. There's going to be a hobbling.
This came out in about 1997, I think the first series was. There was 3 series, and it was a mockumentary following this supposedly elite police force, very much kind of like The Office, but before The Office. It's just fucking brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I mean, you've just got this police force set up, funded, and they're just all a bunch of just imbeciles, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly.
And it just kind of like chronicles their very quick rise as to all coming together as part of this force, and then the 3 series, just their decline, and it's just full of so many golden moments. So we're going to look at 3 episodes of that today.
Yeah,
Dino, your thoughts of Operation Good Guys?
I love it. Obviously, I fucking love it. 3 series, as you say. The first one started off where they were supposed to be an elite undercover surveillance team, but from the second series on, they've kind of been bumped down to uniform. When I was looking into the series, and there's a narrator on it, because as you say, it's like a documentary, but a guy called Hugo Blick is the narrator. And in the first series, he plays a character called Smiler McCarthy, which is the big gangland boss they're trying to get. But I think he also directed the first series. What I got out of it, and I thought, blimey, he plays the young Jack Napier in Batman 89.
No, really? Is that the same guy?
Yeah, same guy, yeah. And I think they used him because of his likeness to a young Jack Nicholson with the grin. Just another little fact, just to plop down in there. He also played Lieutenant von Gerhard in Blackadder Goes Forth.
Oh yeah. Yes. Now you say that, yeah, I can see that.
Who the is David Seaman?
Right, so let's get into this, shall we? So let's look at the first episode. Yeah. The first one being Jubilee. Okay.
Yeah.
This is brilliant. This one. So the good guys receive a visit from the royal family, although they're not allowed to say the royal family. But at every single turn, they balls that up, don't they?
Well, they've got to call them the Jubilees, which is a bit obvious, isn't it? But
Yeah.
I mean, I think Jubilee is in the third series, and you've got all of the main characters, which is Di Beach, who's obviously supposed to be in charge, Ray, who is second in command, Mark, Strings is nicknamed Strings because he plays guitar. And you've got Bones, who is actually, what's his name, Perry Benson,
Yeah.
who's always brilliant in whatever he does. Desard and Bill, who are armed surveillance. And in some of the early episodes, there's the Gary, isn't it, the black guy.
That's right, yeah.
But yeah, with Jubilee, it kind of starts off with them doing a sort of road safety thing outside of school, doesn't it? And then they get the old Mimo that the royal family are coming for a visit, so they have to get the station all looking tip top and proper to make sure it's all right. But obviously, Di Beach is going well over the top. He's got Bones painting the grass green and collecting all the dog shit from around the thing.
Hang on, before we even get to that bit, there's the bit when they're doing the road safety bit and Bones is dressed up as a tomato and gets run over.
Yeah,
and when he gets the old Mimo come through, old Dash says to him,
I can't see them looking after the kids, they might get run over. The kids.
And they just stood behind him.
Yeah. They're reading the letter and they say that none of the royals can be more than, 15 feet away from a toilet?
From a toilet, yeah.
Yeah, so they get that portable one that Bill and Desard carry around. So it's always near the Queen. Obviously, their faces are pixelated out, so you're supposed to think it's them.
Can I just have a pair of you listen to me for a second?
What?
There is no point spoiling the ship for Apeth worth of tar, is there? Get the fucking drinks in here now, and we'll sort the money out later.
But I say Bones is going around picking up all that dog shit, and he brings it all in like a bin liner, doesn't he? And there's all different bags of rubbish just ready to go out. And Di Beach says to Ray, what's all this rubbish doing here? And Ray's like, well, I was just going to skip it. And he goes,
You were going to do it, were you? You're always going to do it. And you're actually doing it now, do you? Let me get it done now, do you? All right.
and then he boots one of the bags. It's Bones' bag, so it's just shit goes everywhere, all over the place.
And then for the rest of the episode, they're just sort of going around the place with a can of Febreze or something, aren't they? And spraying to try and get rid of the stench.
Yeah.
Oh, God, it's shit!
It's the first thing that Beach shouts out the window, doesn't he? They all pick up their leaves. He says, "Right, I want all of those leaves back on the tree."
Yeah. I love
it. I want the grass shiny, the leaves back on the tree.
Yeah.
And then you've got with the dog shit and Bones. What made me laugh was and I'd never noticed it sort of before, because he says, he's like really examining the dog shit, and he's like, what did that one have for dinner last night? Don't you think it's funny, Mark, that you don't see white dog shit anymore? You haven't seen it since the 70s. And I was thinking, that takes me back to my childhood. Everywhere you used to go, if you saw dog shit, for some reason it was white.
Yeah.
You don't see white dog shit anymore.
No, you really don't. You don't. And I don't know. My theory on that is the fact that obviously people clean up their dog shit. Well, they're supposed to. Back then, they didn't bother, so it all got baked up in the sunshine. And
it looked like a bit of burnt up charcoal, didn't it?
Yeah.
So you have that, and then. I don't know. You say, Di Beach. He's taking it. He's going overboard, and he's taking it way too far. And then you've got the likes of Mark, who comes in and he thinks, "I'll use my initiative." So he decides to paint his policeman's helmet, doesn't he?
Gold.
And what colour does he paint it?
Gold.
Bright gold, doesn't he? If anyone's going to be wearing a gold helmet around here, Mark, it's going to be me.
That's the smell. It smells of poo.
But then it moves on, doesn't it, to them going to a real East End pub. And they say we need a real East End bar made for a real East End pub, and they've got what's her name, Bianca from EastEnders.
Do you know I didn't even work in the Vic?
I beg your pardon?
I didn't even work in the f***ing Vic.
He goes up to the bar, don't he? He's like, "I'll have a pint of bitter, please, Sharon." So they don't even know her bloody name.
Yeah. But then they're like food test. Bones is doing the food testing.
Yeah.
And then D.I. Beach decides that he better test all the drinks. So he's absolutely pissed by the time they arrive, isn't he?
Yeah, he's had like 25 units of alcohol. He's absolutely off his trolley.
Yeah. And he has a go at the queen, get her a snowball. And they go stuff with a turkey, swan in a bar.
Oh, that's horrible. That's horrible. That's disgusting. You've got like Mark and Bones and Strings dressed up like cockneys, don't you? From the turn of last century.
Whoa, 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 drop it.
And then you get the D.I. Beach punches out the sort of assistant to the Royals, doesn't he?
I've had enough of you, son, and just clobbers in one, doesn't he?
But then when they're driving off, Beach has got his shirt off and he's like offering loads of throwing his head forward like he's nutting people.
Yeah. You want some?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's brilliant. I mean, even the moment where Ash is tasked to look after the Queen, and he's like, you know, would you like some food? And he comes back with a bowl. Of rusks, and he puts like one of those little plastic bigs round her. We've got the tray in it. He's like, you've got to eat. You're not listening. And she's like, I'm not going to eat that. I'm not going to eat that. And it's just like the way he interacts with her, and then the way he sort of bundles her into the toilet. You know, you've got to go.
But I don't need to go to the
Yes,
toilet.
you do.
No,
You do. It's them rusks. They go straight through you. You do.
And then
That's it. All right, it's a little brush there if you go number twos, all right?
Charles takes the grenades. They've set all this up. So Queen's in the bog. Charles is with the two guys. He lets off a flashbang, or he arms it, doesn't he? Desaad's running around, doesn't know where to throw it, opens up the toilet door, slams the flash grenade, closes the door, and it goes off while the Queen's in the toilet.
We throw them into the room when the terrorists are there, and a huge explosion disorientates them. Beautiful, and it's British made.
Certainly doesn't look as if it's made by an Indian.
No.
What shit?
Slide!
You've got Bones outside looking after the royal wagon, so he thinks, right, I'm driving this like top of the range Lexus with all this gear. I'm going to rag it around the car park and do loads of stuff.
Like James Bond.
Yeah, like James Bond handbrakes, like skids and stuff like that.
He drives over the corgis when he does the handbrake turn.
Yeah. What have you done? I don't believe it. Your one bloody job. You've done both of them as well.
Okay. Here's a song.
Fucking hell! Fuck!
What have you done? I keep trying to fucking shut the door. Grab me guitar, please.
You offered Her Majesty a hot dog, but it wasn't a hot dog, but it was covered in ketchup, and you were flopping it around everywhere. And he's like, oh my God, I'll never get my knighthood now.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a brilliant episode, absolutely brilliant episode to rewatch. It's been some time watching that one.
Yeah.
The other one we looked at was in the same series 3. It was Raging Pig.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a Raging Bull-esque kind of episode, is it? Where
yeah, that's my favourite episode ever, I think.
Oh, is it? So D.I. Beach wants to expose a corrupt boxer, don't he? Danny Boy Sullivan.
That man, Danny Boy Sullivan, is a criminal. Now, I had it on very, very good authority. He was going to win that fight. What happened? He lost. He took a dive. Quite clear. This man, intelligent man, Sergeant Ash, taken in by this deception.
So he sets up this boxing match with the idea of bribing the Danny Boy Sullivan so that they have something to go on in order to arrest him. Yeah. If it's your favourite episode, come on, you set this one up.
Well, yeah, it's kind of because it starts off, doesn't it, where they've had a bet on a boxing match and D.I. Beach has lost, and he doesn't like the fact that he's lost, so he says, "Oh, there's some sort of tampering going on." So Danny Boy Sullivan's taken a dive. So anyway, he decides they're going to go undercover, but they have a go at testing out the officers to see who's going to do it. But obviously, Beach wants to do it because he thinks he's double hard. So he gets in the ring, and starts ducking and weaving and dealing and diving. But yeah, my favourite one is because when they go and see Frank Warren.
Sir, Frank Warren is not taking you seriously. I've tried everything.
First of all, Beach and Ray go and they show him the video, the Raging Pig video. But he goes back and says Mark's going to be the manager, but he needs to be a lot more like a manager. He needs to stand out. So he goes and gets the the really crappy car salesman suit, doesn't he? Then he's got his hair a bit like Don King, and he and he goes into Frank Warren's office, doesn't he? What's all this, Frank?
Not bad, is it, eh? Sir wanted pizzazz.
I have given you the rumble in the jungle. I have given you the thriller in Manila. Well, now I'm going to give you Raging Pig.
You need some leopard skin, some whalebone. What are these biscuits here?
What are these custard creams, Frank?
White chocolate or black chocolate?
Well, whatever, child. I just want chocolate. Frank, what is it with you, man? Why don't you dress shirts, man? Why don't you dress like me Vegas style?
Give me the name of your tailor.
I tell you, man, you're just dressing so dull now, man. Look at your office. Who that looking like that? Frank, I gotta say one thing for you, man. You know what you gotta do? You gotta take all of this stuff off your wall. You need leopard skin. You need things like an elephant tusk on the wall, a whalebone. Frank, I have to say, you ain't got no style.
Frank's about, that's it, go on, get out. Oh, sorry, Mr. Warren. It was only a laugh. No, go on, get out.
But yeah, so there's that bit, and that's also the episode where Bones gets a penis enlargement because they're all taking the mickey out of him at the beginning, aren't they? And then String.
Yeah, so it starts off, don't they? They're having a look at it in the toilet, aren't they? Oh, Desard and Bill. And Desard looks down and goes, fucking hell, Bones.
Bill, have a look. It's like an earplug.
But then it goes to confides in Strings and shows him. He goes, "Oh, blimey, Bones! Yeah, that looks like a button mushroom." So he goes with him to the doctor, doesn't he? What's happened is they've given Bones the bribe money to give to Danny Boy Sullivan, but he's using it to get his willy enlargement. And he says, "Which side do you want?" He picks up the biggest one. He goes, "That's to borrow 100 quid off Strings." He goes to him.
Well, yeah, I have, but I think you should be more realistic, Bones. I mean, you get an erection with that, mate, you're going to pass out.
It's just how quick he decides, don't they? Because they've obviously got like a average size, slightly bigger one, and then they've got this big fucking ginormous cock. And without hesitation, he just grabs it and goes, "I want that one."
But also, when they're having a chat, they do one of the best one-liners in that. Strings is chatting to Bones, and Strings says, "Have you tried any sort of pills or anything, like Viagra?" He goes, "Yeah, it sounds like my cousin does that." He says he can get it over the counter now. Well, that's an improvement, isn't it?
The lady boys of Fuck It. They were very good because to me, you know, they allowed me to pick up a lot of tips about dressing and how to appear completely female.
Obviously, when it comes to the boxing match, D.I. Beats thinks Danny Boy Sullivan's been bribed, and he gets in and tells him to say something about his mum.
That's it, yeah.
Goes up to his ear. Goes, "How's the action on your mum's mattress?"
It goes mad.
Yeah. And he goes, "Does he not know? Does he not know he's supposed to take a dive?" Duck and weave, I don't know about duck and weave.
He's really hitting me, Ray.
He's just making it look good. He's acting.
He's not trying to kill me. He's not. He hit me so hard in the tummy.
But it's also his diet leading up to it, isn't it? So they do the promotional video to make him look really good. Like you say, make him look double hard. It's really sort of Rocky-esque. And then when he starts really getting into it, you've got Desard and Bill who are actually doing all the legwork, all the proper training, and and Beach seems to think that if he eats loads of food, it's going to give him energy. So he starts off with was it a load of fish and chips and a doner kebab? And then
Yeah.
he's eating, like drinking Coca-Cola and eating a Mars bar and stuff like that. And then he starts, smoking a cigarette, literally moments before he starts boxing.
Yeah, I think you should be doing that, sir. I don't worry. But no, so a bit earlier on, when he's saying to decide, I command you to punch me.
Hit me!
If it's an order and you're sure.
Hit me! Get me a Mars bar. I don't think I need some more sugar.
The end of it, D.I. Beach is in the shower, isn't he? And then Bones walks in. Because D.I. Beach says,
I feel like I'm only half a man.
Bones walks in with this massive bit of action.
Oh my God, I am only half a man.
Beach is up against the wall, and he underneath the water. He's all soapy,
Yeah.
and you think he's talking to himself, and then suddenly Ash just just pops up from below. He's been scrubbing his Jacobs, isn't he? Buffering him up.
Yeah.
It's just the timing and the framing is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But he somehow survived 3 rounds with old Danny Boy Sullivan.
Yeah.
But even Danny Boy Sullivan has a really funny moment when he said, yeah, I had this funny little geezer turn up with with his bribe money, but he had no money. The only thing he turned up with was a hard on.
Yeah. Class, mate. Another good one, yeah.
Swanee, how I love you, how I love you.
That as a series is really underrated, and I think because it came out a few years before The Office.
Yeah, I think The Office was about 2001, wasn't it? Something like that. So
2000 it was. But I think what let Operation Good Guys down with regards to the mockumentary, the first series was fine, but the BBC made them put a laughter track on from series 2.
Yeah.
So obviously what's going on there isn't as true to life as The Office anyway. But the other one we watched on it was the one where, that's the second series, which is my other favourite one. It's the forensic one where they're supposed to be retraining and they go to the sweet shop where the old lady's supposed to be a shoplifter or something.
But she's supposed to have been burgled, isn't she?
That's right. Supposed to have been burgled. So they go there and they've got all the hazmat suits on and everything, haven't they? But they're just going through all of our sweets because they've all got like bars of chocolate.
Minstrels! Great.
What's she been ironed under here? Oh, it's the mint hubbugs. Yeah. He's like, oh, I love these, are my favourite. He scoffs one, doesn't he? But off camera, you hear her say,
whatever you do, don't touch the humbugs. I found a dead mouse in there last week.
So he starts eating, was it like penny sweets and little shrimps?
Ray, penny shrimps!
And the next thing you know, he's just going mad. He's got Maltesers on him. He's curly whirlies. And he's like a kid in a sweet shop, isn't he? Literally.
That's what it is, yeah. But it's great because they're supposed to be being retrained and they're dusting for fingerprints, but then they realise that Beach hasn't been wearing his surgical gloves. So his fingerprints, so everywhere they've got little sticky notes that say D.I. Beach. And there's just one unknown one. And then they find a bit of hair, don't they? They said, right, so you put that with the rest of the hair. Put that aside, but Bones has put it in with all the other hair. So it's all mixed up. And Mark does the same with the blood sample they've got.
It's just mixed in there. And so he turns to the camera and he's like, right, can you just turn it off, please? Why the bloody hell would you put the hair in there? What was the only bag I got, sir?
And what about the glass with the blood on it, Mark?
It's in there, sir.
It's in the bottle, is it?
Yeah, I thought I'd keep it wet.
Can we switch that off for a second? I just need to clear it before we carry on.
Beach starts singing this song about a Cadbury's Flake, so the old Cadbury's Flake advert. Then Ash comes in and harmonises with him, and then they suddenly realise he ain't even holding a bloody flake.
Only the crumbliest, flakiest chocolate tastes like chocolate never tasted before.
So that was flake, sir.
What have I got then?
It's a rum bowl.
And then Mark's looking through like a tub of sweets, and Beach goes up to him and he's like, Mark?
What are we doing? What are you doing? What do you think you're doing?
I'm looking for creamy truffle, sir.
Well, don't. Calm down. You're supposed to be doing work. You're supposed to be fingerprinting. Come on.
Sorry, sir.
The episode leads on to them going to it's like a stately manor house, and because D.I. Beach has written sort of a play that he wants to be filmed of great British literature characters all in one thing, because he's supposed to be Sherlock Holmes and Ray's supposed to be Watson. Got Mark dressed up as Casanova. They got the geezer who was in the bill and Quadrophenia, who's supposed to just be a dead body. But he keeps having a go at him saying, "You're not doing it right." He said, "But I'm just supposed to be dead. I'm just lying here."
It's just almost being argumentative with him, isn't he?
Yeah.
And then they find that footprint, don't they, outside? He's like,
Yeah.
what would you take from this, Holmes? And he's there with old Casanova. He said, "Oh, it's a footprint. It's a sports shoe. It's got how do you know that? It's got Adidas written on it. How do you know that?" Because it says it. And then they're using their magnifying glasses, aren't they, to sort of to magnify it. But where the sun's like coming out, they start burning like the foliage.
Who is not used to wearing sporting footwear.
It's caught on fire, sir.
I'm going to put it up. Oh no, you've ruined all the evidence now.
We don't
There's
know.
footprints all over. We know who footprints they are, don't we?
No,
we
couldn't let it just burn, sir, could we?
That was going really well for a change.
Throughout the whole 3 series, there's so many good bits of different episodes that you can quote on, like the one when they go to gym something where they're supposed to be doing some sort of survival training. But it's just clearly it's like Marlon Brando in Apocalypse Now.
Yes.
Nobody sleeps tonight. There's going to be a horror. And he keeps going, the horror.
The perpetrator is going to be you.
The actual series, all 3 were written by Ray Burdis, who plays Ray in the show, and Dominic Anciano. I think that's how you say his name, but he plays Desard.
That's right. Yeah.
So they both wrote it all. And Ray Burdis, he's been in quite a lot of things, British things throughout the years. I think he was in Scum in the late 70s with old Ray Winston, and also he was in a BBC sort of sitcom called 3 Up, 2 Down with Michael Elphick, which was all right. It was one of those cheesy old 80s sitcoms. And the guy who plays Mark is Mark Burgess, is his brother.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, don't he pop up in he pops up in the episode of Only Fools, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's one of Boyce's mechanics.
That's it. Yeah, Diamonds, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Justin Diamond comes out next year. Please excuse me, Mr. Biggerstaff.
You fellas been doing a bit of boozing, have you? Sucking back on Grandpa's old cough medicine?
Great TV series, and it's the same team that did another one of our favourite films, Love, Honor and Obey, which is another great film.
Underrated film. Yeah, another great underrated film.
But it was very interesting to go back and rewatch that, because I don't think it's really ever got much of a repeats done of it.
No, it's a bit of a shame, because I think it did kind of go under the radar. But it's just brilliant, and it just really takes me back. Well, us back really, when we were first watching it. And do you remember when it first came out on good old VHS? I think it for it to go over to DVD. Do you remember it took years for them to release it on DVD?
Yeah, and I found it on a DVD box set where you can get all 3. I think it's like only a tenner on Amazon.
Yeah, that's the one I had, but I'm sure you had to wait like a few years or so for it to come out.
It's like I picked the wrong week to quit smoking.
The next one that we're going to talk about, which is a very little known BBC comedy from 2001 called Orrible, which starred Johnny Vaughan and Ricky Grover. This was absolutely shit canned when it came out. I don't think anyone had the time of day for it. I think me and you loved it because there's just so many quotable lines and stuff in it, and I thought it was really good.
See, I'm playing the long game. I'm thinking ahead, like the Chinese did with Hong Kong.
Johnny Vaughan wrote it with a guy called Ed Allen. So Johnny Vaughan plays Paul Clark, who's a cab driver. So he's kind of like got an unlicensed cab driver with ideas of becoming some sort of small-time gangster. And his best mate, Sean, played by Ricky Grover, is a bouncer by profession, but they both try and get themselves into little deals and things. bit like Del Boy, but on a much more sinister level. Like they get paid to torch someone's flower stand, don't they? 20 quid each.
Yeah, so they're just they're wannabe gangsters, aren't they? But it's like so low rent as well. They're just like desperate for it. But the only sort of jobs that they're kind of taking on board is burning down a flower stall for like a score.
Yeah. So unfortunately for us, I think, anyway, they only ran for one series. The BBC never did a repeat of it. And I did read that Johnny Vaughan did approach the BBC in 2017 to say, would they repeat the series on BBC Three or BBC Four, just to see if there's any interest could be picked up in it. But obviously they weren't interested. Most people probably wouldn't like it, but we like it, don't we? Because we can quote a lot of the stuff from it. I like how Ricky Grover refers to his team of bouncers as lumps. Because they work out how many bouncers they need. So he goes, it's about what you need is about 150 stone. He goes, 150, that's nearly 150 bouncers, that's a bit much, isn't it? No, 150 bouncers, 150 stone. So you can do that at 10 lumps, 15 stone apiece.
What's the matter? We can handle it. What's the old bottle going?
No, not at all. Not at all. I just don't want a repetition of the 30 geezers behind the door with baseball bats incident. That's all, Sean.
The funniest other character bouncer in it is Terry, and that is played by Ed Allen, who co-wrote with Johnny Vaughan. But he's one who gets his leg blown off. His leg's blown off because Sean's messing about with a hand grenade in Paul Clark's car, and he pulls the pin out and drops it. Them two run out, and Terry's stuck in there because the child lock's on. He survives, doesn't he? But it's just his leg's blown off. And you don't see him for a couple of episodes. But then, when Sean's supposed to be getting married and they go on stag do, he turns up and gets out of a cab. He's got really massive fake legs.
Right, let's get Till out of the motor. Come on, boys. Give him room! Move back! Move back!
The good thing about having no legs, you can be any height you want.
Any height you want. Geezer's got no legs. And he's laughing about it.
They're all doing stag do stuff, aren't they? Messing around, and they go to like some sort of fun fair. He does a bungee jump. He does a bungee jump. He goes bungee. Of course, he goes all the way down. His legs come off, so he just hits the ground, and his legs like ping back up in the air. But again, he still survives, doesn't he? And they're putting him in the ambulance, and Ricky Grover gets his mask out and goes,
what's that, Till? He says, give the stripper one from me.
It's a show with just such a silly sense of humour. And I remember when we were first watching it, I remember you saying, I think we're the only two people who have seen this. And I still, to this day, I wouldn't be surprised if we were the only two people who not only see this show, but absolutely love it at the same time, because it's just so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
But so many one-liners in it. I mean, even like when Sean comes round in one of the episodes, isn't it? The doorbell rings, Shawnee boy.
Shawnee boy, yeah.
You know, it's just those sort of, Shawnee boy. It's one of those things we still quote even now, even though our names aren't Sean.
Yeah. Made a wonder.
How much is it? £12.
£12? Christ! How does he make a living?
There's quite a few people that turn up in it, and the main one being Jay from The Inbetweeners, who's in episode 6 and plays Ricky Grover's son, who he hasn't seen for 12 years. because he didn't have custody or rights to see him. But it's Jay from the Inbetweeners, isn't it?
Yeah, because he turns up. He ain't seen him for 12 years, but he still thinks of him as being like this little kid, doesn't he? Because he turns up like a massive bear. But James Buckley turns up and he's just as leery as Sean is.
Well, I think he's coming on a train, don't they? Yeah, his name's Ryan, but they call him Little R. He turns out in a stolen car, doesn't he? And then just gets out and gives it the big one. He wants to be a gangster.
Little R.
But yeah, he's very young in that, isn't he? He probably is only about 12, 13 when he was in that. But I always remember when the Inbetweeners came out, I thought, oh, that's that kid who was in Orrible.
Yeah, it always takes you back, isn't it? It's one of those. It's just one of those moments, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't believe it's 20 years old. They did release it on DVD pretty much as soon as the series is finished. Obviously, they wanted to recoup some money for it, but it was kind of sort of withdrawn after a few years. So they did a small run of it, because I looked for it the other day. Because I've got it, but I just want to see how much they're going for. And second-hand copies of it on, I think, Amazon or whatever, going for about 50 quid.
Oh, dear.
But there's one brand new, still in the cellophane. Geezer wants $2.50 for it. Because it's such a cult classic.
Everybody on? Good. Great. Grand. Wonderful. No yelling on the bus!
Some of the other characters that are in it, like the other best character is Noel, which is the black guy.
Yeah.
He's got that really weird voice. Original gangster boy.
But he's got a lisp at the same time.
Tim, let me get those, yeah?
No, it's all right, Noel. I'll buy my own drinks.
What are you saying, man? I can't buy it around for my old spa.
And then he says something to Ricky Grover, and he grabs him, doesn't he? And he says, what? And he shits himself. And then he phones up. He phones his mobile to say something, like, trying to take the piss out of him. And Johnny Vaughan goes, yeah, all right. Have you changed your trousers yet? Don't give me that, we can all smell it. Then it happens again, doesn't it? When they go for another meeting, and then Ricky Grover does something and he shits himself. I reckon that's 2 pairs of trousers in one day.
Oh, we're finished here, I tell you, mate. I'm finished. I'm done. I may as well just get out.
Oi. You got to get yourself a PMA, son.
Oh, yeah, what's that?
A positive mental attitude, Paul. Like Chris Akabusi said, get out there, get the fucking job done, or fuck off!
Akabusi never said that. He's a committed Christian for a start, Sean.
Fuck Akabusi, Paul. Fuck him. He's gone. I've moved on.
They go to Stately Manor House, don't they? They're supposed to be house sitting for the night over a weekend, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it kind of has got that montage of them, just them two sort of in the pool splashing about, playing a bit of badminton. They're just wearing them white dressing gowns and slippers all the way through. And Ricky Grover's got massive bits of steak on the barbie, hasn't he? Over. And then in the evening, they're playing Trivial Pursuit, aren't they? There's a question. He asks him a question, and the answer to it is the film Tora.
That's it, yeah.
That's the attack command for the attack dogs that are in the property, the Rottweilers. So they're all triggered, aren't they? Start chasing them around the house.
They get locked in the bog, don't they?
Yeah, but the best line of that is they get locked in. There's no light working because the light switch is on the outside. And he goes something about Ricky Grover goes, well, it could be worse. And he goes, how could it possibly be worse? I'm stuck in this small bathroom in pitch black. How is it going to be worse? He went, I need a shit. Oh, bloody hell, Sean.
And then you hear the double plop, don't you?
We're stuck in a shower room with no light, food, or means of communication. There's 3 Rottweilers outside waiting to, quote, rip us to pieces. Rip us to pieces. And Tamsin gets here in 36 hours. So you tell me, Sean, how can things get worse?
I need a shit.
Oh, Sean, that is disgusting.
Well, it's hardly like you smell of roses, is it, Paul?
For me, when it comes to things that are funny, it's always those little things. It's like when they're playing badminton and Johnny Vaughan serves it. then Ricky Grover goes to hit it, and it gets caught in his gets caught in his racket, and it's just his expression like, oh, what do I do now?
Yeah, that's great. Obviously, at the end of it, where they manage to get what they do, don't they? Is they try and get out by drugging the dogs. So they crush up some pills and throw it out to the dogs for some stuff for them to eat. But they don't realise that it's like Viagra they've thrown out, isn't it?
That's it, yeah.
In order for them to get back downstairs in this manor house, they put on the lady of the house's clothes, don't they? Just to give the dogs that they're all right. So they dress up as these women and walk through, and then the dogs go after them, don't they? Because they've had the old Viagra, they catch up with them, don't they? And start that. Right at the point where Johnny Vaughan's girlfriend and parents turn up for another barbecue for the day.
Yeah, don't flip them too often now. You don't want to lose your juices. Yeah, coming along nicely. Those are cooking just fine. Scoop that one up and put it back down in the exact same spot.
You got a dad who's like he's like a London cab driver, isn't he? And he's just constantly swearing. So there's even that bit where he gets to the junction and he doesn't know which way to go, and he starts losing his patience. And someone bibs him from behind. He's like, "Fucking drive past, you stupid!" And then he walks through the door with his daughter just at that moment where the dogs are humping them all. And he walks in. He's like, "Fuck now! Touch and wait, please. It's not what it seems."
Another good character, that Tim, who was it was Wilmot Brown, isn't he? From is it William Boyd? Was he Wilmot Brown from EastEnders in the 80s when he got up to no good with Kathy Bill? Terrible. It's funny, isn't it? Because he's supposed to be an ex-sergeant major. What they're going on because they're all being paranoid that they found out about this dog thing, and he goes, "Have you seen this postcard from so-and-so? He's been to Labrador." No, shut up. Just a change for a fruity.
I don't think you'll win a lot. You just paid out. All right. So we were dressed as women with 3 dogs trying to shag us. But we didn't ask the old woman to join in. And we didn't know the pills was Viagra. You'd have done the same if you'd been trapped in a toilet for 3 days in total darkness, eating toothpaste. Tell him, Sean, tell him.
Did you happen to see the controversial Liz Hurley pictures this week?
No, I've missed that. I'll have a quick barn at it now.
I mean, she looks stunning. I mean, she's in her 50s, and she's obviously outside her house and going look at a snowy sort of landscape behind her, and she's just wearing like a little tiny fur coat.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to wait for you to see it.
Hello, sweetheart. So she's come under fire about that then. Okay, yeah.
Right, the reason why it is because her son took the pictures.
Okay.
Right? But he's a photographer, and obviously she's a model, but she's kind of changed her tune now and tried to change it and say it was her mum that took the pictures. I think they're great pictures, but, that's why she's... But... regardless of whatever that is, I'm not really interested who took them, but that is lovely. She is a stunningly attractive older woman.
Oh, she is. She's an absolute winner. Yeah, I mean, to whoever took the picture, thank you, sir. Thank you, madam.
I was thinking today, though, is obviously in the news and most of the shows that are on, they're talking more and more about TV shows now, obviously, because there's not an awful lot going on because people can't do anything. They're not going to do a consumer thing about going out and doing this and doing that. So they're talking a lot more about TV programs, right? And I'm so fed up, so fucking fed up with hearing about bloody Bridgerton, right? And if they're not banging on about Bridgerton, right, they're going on about this new It's a Sin program. Now, fair play. If you want to watch those, that's absolutely fine, right? Absolutely fine. And I will probably watch It's a Sin because I am interested in watching it. But it's put me off by all of this bloody bombarding with it. It's like fucking bashing you on the head with it.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though, isn't it? They oversaturate these things, and it's just, and after a while, you're just not interested. It's like, like Lord of the Rings. That's why I didn't go see Lord of the Rings when it first came out. Yeah, that's right. I'm on the Lord of the Rings now. You know it, and I wasn't interested in watching Fellowship because it was just too fucking much. Everywhere I went, it was there on a bus stop, on a kid's McDonald's packet. It was there on the bog roll in your local pub. It was everywhere. It just really put me off. And then eventually you get round to watching it, and it's different. But I think when they overmarket something, it can deter you from looking at it. I mean, I didn't recognise the name of It's a Sin, but looking at it now, seeing the images from some of the stills of the show, I recognise it now. I now recognise the posters that I have seen on bus stops, so I recognise that one. And what was the other one you said?
Bridgerton.
Oh yeah, the only thing I know about that is it was really hyped. I think it's one of the most successful Netflix shows, but now people are sort of saying that guy should be the next James Bond. So now they've the show's come out of nowhere. Everyone's talking about it. Now the show's just kind of been put aside, and now everyone's just talking about this geezer who they want to be the next James Bond.
Yeah, and it's all women, right? And I tell you what, there's a very big double standard here, which hopefully I won't get in trouble, but there's women going on about how attractive he is and how lovely he is and objectifying him. I find it very offensive, Kevin. How can they objectify a young man like that? All he's doing is a bit of acting, takes his shirt off. Oh my God. They're going on. Oh, it's disgraceful behaviour and not something we need to have in this 21st century we've moved into. But those Liz Hurley pictures were lovely.
See that chap over there? Get your hand off my penis! This is the bloke who got me on the penis before.
Just before we sign off, I've just got a little thing that I've been pondering as well.
Go for it.
And I want to ask you if you do the same thing. At the moment, we're living in an age where we need to wash our hands more often because of the old virus when you're going in. But, right, when you go for a wee, do you wash your hands before you touch your willy and then go for a piss and then wash your hands again?
I sterilise. I've got a little Willie's sanitizer right next to the bog. So I give it I give him a little sanitizer in the hands. I sanitise my willy. And then I have a little...
That stink!
No, I'm joking. No, I wash my hands afterwards. I wash it for the full 20 seconds or until the Apple Watch tells me to stop. Yeah.
You need your watch to tell you to stop. Well, you can stop washing your hands now, Kevin. They're clean. It's more than you can say for your willy. But no, I think... I just think I do it before and after because I just think I don't want to touch my knob with COVID hands if they are already COVID. But I mean, I haven't even been out, but I still feel the need to wash them. I don't know. Maybe I've trapped myself into some sort of weird vortex where I'm just washing my hands before I touch willies. Got COVID.
Right, and then I see the disinfectant where it knocks it out in 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning? Because you see it gets on the lungs and it does a tremendous number of the lungs.
If you would like to follow us on the old media of social, you can now find us on 3 channels. On dos tres. That being Twitter. If you want to tweet or twit us, find us at Podculture V. We are also on the gram of Insta at Podculture Vultures, all one word. And we are now on Mark Zuckerberg's lovely little platform, Facebookio at Podculture Vultures. Have a little follow, send us a message, get in touch, anything at all, any suggestions whatsoever, you will find us there.
Lovely.
That's me done with the old social media bollocks for this week.
Right, let's fuck off then because I've had a little moan and we've had a little chat. See you next time, baby!
See you later!